Cyber season is in full swing with our pals Isotope and Native Instruments.
Get huge discounts on everything from Guitar Rig 7,
Complete 14 bundles,
and one of our favorites here at the Cult and Culture Podcast,
Ozone 11 EQ. Go to isotope.com
and nativeinstruments.com
to feast on the audio goodness. Yum.
You can also get additional savings on other softwares by using the code
RUIN10.
DistroKid now also has a motherfucking app. The DistroKid app is available for iOS and Android. You can download it at distrokid.com/app/ or you can get it in the App Store.
Call that culture! Call that culture!
Cult and Culture with Justin Pearson. This is Justin Pearson, and you are listening to Cult and Culture. I'm here with Brian Evans, who happens to be a drummer, and I'm going to ask him the most vague question. I would like for you to define music and maybe drumming in specific in layman's terms.
In layman's terms, it all comes down to personal style and not trying to follow the rubric that's been set before you. For instance, everyone's going to try to tell you how music should be, but you can make it the way that you want it to be. And that is a driving force in getting good at what you're doing because you got to love it. So stylistically, it's almost like wearing a t-shirt. It's like an extension of yourself. Like I wouldn't wear a t-shirt with some crazy obscenity on it because it would upset some kids or some religious people or whoever. Even if I disagree with their beliefs, I would wear something that's congruent with my style. So I would play drums in a way that, you know, excites me and is fun for me, and not trying to play every single style that everyone is trying to force down your throat. So it's really like wearing a new pair of shoes or an old pair of shoes. So just an extension of your style, and it's another realm to exist in instead of having to live in the real world all the time.
So how does that fit in with shedding?
Well, shedding is a very important concept in drumming, where two drummers set up two drum sets and battle each other, and it always turns into a battle, even if it's an unspoken battle. That kind of competition makes you step your ideas up. You know, it's just like when you're skateboarding or boxing or any kind of skill. You see someone else do it, and then you can do it more easily because you see them do it right in front of your face. And it's not something you can learn online. You got to go out there and have fun with other musicians, and then you can bring those skill sets, like for instance learning crazy bombastic artillery shell type drum beats with your friends, and bring them to a musical setting and use them in bits and pieces, or use, you know, a whole beat that sounds like a bombastic grindcore, whatever, fill in the blank name on it. So shedding is really a way to push, you know, the instrument of drumming and further the information that's contributed to the drum realm, which I find to be lacking, extremely lacking, and I find a lot of new, fresh ideas from shedding with people.
So you made a comment about, I can't remember the drummer's name, but he said that you have to go out and experience it. Can you?
Ronald Bruner Jr. said to me many years ago that you have to see things live because there's an energy in the room you can taste. You can't just go look it up on YouTube or try to learn it off of a record. You got to see it live. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to, for instance, learn that kickflip I was talking about on the skateboard. You know, you can't do a kickflip, but you see someone else do it, and it's like, oh, I see how they approached it, and maybe you're going to approach it differently, but you can still take some influence from being in the room, catching the actual energy. Like, don't waste your time on YouTube all day when you could be out there living it.
So this would be essentially a one-man shed, I suppose, because there's obviously no other drummer. So for me personally, as a vocalist and also as a bassist, I identify, or at least I I don't know what the right word am drawn towards the drumming more than anything else out of all the musical stuff, because I think percussively, I think vocally percussively, and I think bass wise, and note wise percussively, and I think it's maybe my fixation with drumming and drummers, and I've been lucky to have the ability to play with fantastic drummers in my entire musical time on this planet. So for me though, with all the things that you said, I would say that the most, in going and seeing it live and seeing that energy, the best thing or the most intense thing is to be able to communicate with a drummer or anyone in a band or a group setting through telepathy, because there's communication happening without dialogue, without words, without spoken dialogue. And that is the most intriguing thing ever. And I think that's why music is able to transcend any kind of social barrier, be it age or race or gender or whatever you want to call it. Even like with people's language, it transcends everything. That was Cult and Culture with Justin Pearson.